Hey YouTube, it's Budget Bugout, and I'm at Benchmade today talking with Derek. And Derek, thank you so much for meeting with us. And he's going to be going over some of the new Benchmade models that y'all are rolling out. And I know y'all just had your 30 years, your 30-year anniversary.
Yeah, so 1987 is when Benchmade Knife Company essentially started, and we've really come a long way since then. 30 years, relatively speaking, to other cutlery companies, we're one of the younger ones, but at the same time, 30 years, that's enough to see at least multiple generations with your brand being, and having that experience with the brand, which is cool. A father hands the knife down to their son. That's definitely within that 30 years, and that's been fun to watch grow and happen. It's just definitely cool. And as far as where we've come as a company in terms of manufacturing and capabilities, again, long ways. So we're just going to touch on a few items here with you guys. And one that we're really excited about this year is this guy, the 560 Freak, which very well will fit in, I'm sure, with a lot of the Budget Bugout folks. So first off, starting off with what we have here, we have a dual durometer handle in the 560. So dual durometer featuring basically two different types of material. You have a VersaFlex, which is kind of like a rubberized material, adding lots of grip. As you notice, it's in basically all the points. I'm going to give you guys a little demonstration of where your fingertips would be. That's where grip actually happens. Inlay is going to be a grivery, which adds rigidity to it. So commonly with a lot of these knives, you'll see it kind of done inversely. So you have the rubberized material in the middle, and then all the hard plastic parts or glass-filled nylon parts on the outside. Yeah, sure, that's kind of neat that you have this rubbery part here, but it's not conducive to what grip should be. And we modeled this after a lot of high-end tools. Went to shops and went to ask people what do they look for in their tools, and comfort was a big part. Ergonomically, this knife is comfortable. So it's one of those things, like, if you're in a Benchmade dealer, please take the time to just pick this up. It is a comfortable knife. Of course, includes our axis lock, and then a very, very stout S30V blade with a high bevel grind. So this guy is going to slice. It does a lot of slicing. This knife does work. That's basically how I'm going to explain it. It does work, and it's going to basically essentially make your life easier. Yeah. At least more comfortable. How about that?
I like it, and I'm very excited for this. This is coming out very soon, right?
Yes, I believe shipping relatively soon, so you should see it in Benchmade dealers very, very soon.
Yeah, I plan on buying it for sure. So.
Yes. So S30V steel, great edge retention, good toughness. In that same vein, we have for the folks so if you see this, you very much think Griptillian. It's very reminiscent of that. And that was kind of part of the idea, but mostly just a great everyday carry knife. Now, kind of in that same vein, as I was getting to, is for those folks who love barrages for everyday carries. This is our spring assist version. So again, featuring that dual durometer handle. So rubberized texturing on where your fingertips will be, harder plastic parts on the inlays to add rigidity in addition to the back spacer.
Very cool.
So S30V blade steel again, and just really basically what you would want in a spring assist knife that you want to help do work every day. This one does also come with a deep carry pocket clip, which we're really excited about. People love having their knives kind of just tucked away and discreetly in the pocket. And this is the 590 Boost versus the 560 Freak, which is our manual opening version.
Sure. And I know this one is much less expensive, much less expensive than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that.
So you look at this. Put the Boost away real quick. Look at the Freak. You're obviously looking at maybe a Griptillian. Again, that comparison is hard to avoid. Our standard full-size Griptillian is usually around $130. This will also retail around $130, but you're getting a more premium steel and a upgraded, more ergonomic, even more functional handle, in my opinion. Again, this is one of those things that you guys will have to determine when you go to the store and pick it up, but this will also start at $130.
Yeah. I think this is going to be the next big thing, at least this year anyways.
Yes, we're excited about it. So again, that's the 560 Freak.
Very cool. Awesome.
moving on, because it is our 30th anniversary, we are celebrating another anniversary within the Benchmade family of products, and that would be the all popular Infidel. So this is the 10th anniversary Platinum Edition Infidel. As you can see, it is a lot of similarities. It's obviously relatively the same shape, same function, but little aesthetic differences. So the handle was definitely inspired by some of our social pictures of our raw aluminum handles, which we couldn't actually produce a knife with just raw aluminum handles, but we did the next best thing, which was offer this kind of platinum, almost satin bright dip coating on the outside. So it does make for a very eye-catching kind of finish, especially for an Infidel when you're used to seeing it just in a black finish.
Sure.
Little detail things like black liner to go with that satin. Cool part about this is we upgrade the steel. The steel will feature a S30V stainless steel blade, no D2 in this one. So as far as like a functional, like kind of almost everyday carry knife, like yes, it's still a double-edged spear point knife, and some people argue that's not necessarily the best for an everyday carry, but as far as a steel that will work for you every day, that will be a little lower maintenance than D2 and more corrosion resistant, this S30V is going to definitely change the game a little bit. So in addition to that, we will also have the 10th anniversary Infidel challenge coin that comes along with the knife. So again, this is a limited edition knife. We're basically only going to produce the Infidel 10th anniversary for all of 2017. Once the year's over, we will conclude it, and you'll basically have to be fighting on the secondary market to find yourself one.
That's great. It's definitely a collector's item, especially in the tactical community.
Oh yes. So now moving on, again, kind of tying back into our 30th anniversary, telling the story of this guy. So this is one of our two billet titanium knives, single piece billet titanium knives that we're going to be producing this year in 2017 and of course beyond. This is the 781 Anthem. So billet titanium, what does that mean? So this handle is essentially one single piece of titanium. There's no screws holding sides together. There's no scales on each side. It is a one piece of titanium that's milled from a billet and basically shaped and formed into what you see here. Give you guys kind of a kind of perspective of what that starts out as. Again, to give more visual, this is a billet of titanium. This is essentially what the handle starts out as. As you can see, it is a thick piece of tie. From there, we'll basically go through a mill process. So I'll show you guys the next step in the evolution of creating this knife, which would be this handle scale. So as you notice, we've taken off quite a bit of material. It's thinned out, add some chamfering. It's starting to take shape, however, it's still a solid chunk of titanium. Now, moving on to the next step, we start channeling it out. Basically, a tool bit will come in here and just dig out and channel it out, and still one piece of titanium. Add basically where the pivot screw will go, the axis bar will go, and then of course add more mills to it, and then we're slowly starting to get into the handle that you see in the final knife. Next step, of course, we have is adding a lot of the texturing and detail work to the handle.
Awesome. That's beautiful.
More channeling, and essentially you'll get to this stage of the finished piece where we anodize it. Also to point out, the 781 Anthem does feature a titanium clip, so if you like titanium, this is definitely a knife for you. Lots of detail work on this, with a lot of the finish work, crowning on the blade. It's going to feature a 20 CV blade, which is a pretty good abrasive resistant steel. So in terms of edge retention, it does really, really well for us. And of course, everybody loves the axis lock, which did prove a little tricky to figure out how to get into a single piece handle knife, but we figured it out. And of course, if you get into a Benchmade dealer and get an opportunity to pick one up, you'll see how we did it.
Very cool. All right, awesome. Well, I know you guys have just a bunch of other knives to cover. Are there any other ones? I know you were talking about off camera about this one.
Yes.
Real quickly.
So the 10 hook is one that we're really excited about. So this has actually kind of multiple applications to it.
Okay.
The original application which is kind of an interesting story, is for correctional officers. Obviously, in the corrections facilities, you can't necessarily carry a knife, and there's situations where you will need a tool like this to either cut through braided bed sheets, other large ropes, and just get some cutting done without having a tool that necessarily can become a stabbing weapon.
Sure.
But beyond that, the applications of law enforcement, for cutting zip cuffs, to also EMT, first responders, any of our hooks from our hook series, you've seen the videos online, I'm sure. If you don't, of course, visit our website. We have tons of footage of how this guy works. Yeah. But just cutting through material with this, because of the geometry of the hook, how we've created basically how your hand perches on this, gives you a great feel when pulling through material and ease of cutting, and not have to necessarily worry about cutting an individual. Yes, fingers will fit into this model because it's the largest radius of the hooks of all our hooks that we have in terms of cutting edge. So obviously be leery of it, but the whole intent of this is to help cut more efficiently and safely.
Awesome. Yeah, as someone who's in the military and have friends that are deploying and they come across the same issue, this is an awesome solution. So I might have to look into this whenever I deploy. So very cool stuff. I'm glad I learned about that.
Yeah. So yeah, as far as that, we do have a few other offerings for 2017, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to cover all of them today.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely check out our website, as all of our products are available there that will be available right now in 2017. In addition to, keep watching us. It is our 30th anniversary, so that doesn't mean it just stops here at SHOT Show.
I'd like to thank ThruNite for sponsoring my trip to SHOT Show 2017. As y'all know, I own and review a lot of outdoor and everyday carry gear, and I recommend ThruNite flashlights due to their affordability and durability. Be sure to check out links to my favorite ThruNite flashlights in the description box below so you don't get caught in the dark. Remember, it pays to be prepared.